Hey, this is Beverly Bozeman. I am the creator of the About Her Ministry YouTube channel and the recently released international best-selling book, Diary of a First Lady, Shiloh Grammar. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Be sure and share this broadcast with your friends and your family and turn on your notifications so that you will know when I am on. The broadcast for this evening is entitled, The Mud Might Be Your Mind, Declare Clarity. The other day, I was listening to Latoya Okia. You can find her on Facebook and on YouTube. And she was talking about, various things concerning how she made sacrifices to become who she is today. And one of the things, hi Sierra, I love her too. She's so awesome. She is so awesome. And when she gets hyped, she is something to see, okay? And she, I'm basically paraphrasing, she said that she might not have it like other women might have it, getting assistance and whatnot. I guess like from husbands or whoever. She said, I had to get it out the mud, baby. And that thing just tickled me so good because I hadn't heard get it out the mud in a long time. I had just, forgot about it. So for those of you who might not know what get it out of the mud means, it means to basically grind and hustle and go work your fingers down to the bone to be successful, whatever success, means for you. And when she said that, it made me just think about mud, period, right? And I don't know how the connection came about. It might not be a real connection, but I saw it as a connection. Getting it out of the mud, to me, meant you have to clear out your mind. Throughout life, we are programmed to see things a specific way, to understand things a specific way, to act on things a specific way, to hear and to eat. And we're just programmed throughout our whole lives, right? And then we have the issues that come along with being an adult, being a parent, being a spouse, being an adult child with aging parents. There's just so many things that's clouding up our minds that it's hard for us to make good choices. It's hard for us to stay on task. It's hard for us to do a whole lot of things. And that's not speaking negativity. That's actual facts. And the fact remains that sometimes when we are bogged down with issues and we just go through life on autopilot, or we are led by our emotions, or we don't really think for ourselves, we just do things as people tell us or influence us to, our minds can be like mud. It's hard for us to have the clarity that we need to make the choices that's going to make our lives successful. And one thing that I learned when I had to start my life over, I knew that I had to get rid of what was already in my mind. I had 4 years to be by myself and to have all of these negative thoughts. I had learned to be a positive person because I did a lot of reading before I got married the first time and moved away. I had learned and taught myself how to be a positive person. But in the time that I was alone, it was a battle within myself, for my mind against the enemy, right? And so it was like all of the positive things that I had learned and taught myself and programmed myself to think and believe and act and all of that, it kind of went out the window and was replaced with a whole bunch of negativity. So I had a lot of clutter. Instead of having clarity, I had a lot of clutter. And I realized that when I had to start my life over, I had to exchange the clutter for clarity. And then as the exchange took place, I had to destroy the clutter so I could no longer take it back. When we have clutter in our minds, it's comfortable. It's mess. It's a hindrance, but it's comfortable because life has a lot of uncertainties, right? That's why we have to walk by faith and have a relationship for ourselves with God and not just rely on what people tell us. And, you know, he guides us, right? But we have to have clarity of mind so that we can set and accomplish goals, and we can walk one day at a time versus being fearful of what's going to happen this time next year or when we turn older, you know, those types of things. So I just wanted to share one or two nuggets with you guys. And I tried this out for myself when I was in a really, really broken and desperate state. And it made me become a better person because it was a process of clearing out the clutter and gaining clarity of where my life was, being honest with myself with where my life was at that time and what I could do in that moment. Because I was the type of person before, you know, I went through what I went through. I planned everything. I used to carry a planner with me, and if it wasn't in my day planner, I didn't do it. There was no girl, let's go out to eat. You know, so and so got the Red Lobster, got that special. Because I have in my planner, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I was just that type of person. But when I had to start over and I had to get the clarity in my mind, I realized that I had to focus on just that particular time frame. Like this 1 hour right here, this is what I'm going to do. And then it turned into the next hour and the next hour and the next hour. I wasn't working. So I had nothing but time on my hands, and I knew that I had to get some type of clarity in my mind or I wasn't going to make it. And, you know, I'm not going to say what not make it meant. You're going to have to read the book. But I just knew I wasn't going to make it. And then the 1 hour to the next hour to the next hour turned into one morning to one afternoon to one evening to 8 hour period to another to one day to the next day. It was slow and it was gritty and it was hard, but I knew that I had to be able to have some type of clarity in my mind because the thoughts and the memories and the fear was just coming and coming and coming. And when it came, it was kind of like, have you ever seen a frog? I'm from the country, so I see stuff like this all the time. A frog jump into a big, thick mud pile of mud. He's stuck. He can't do anything. So when if we have a cluttered mind and the negative thoughts come and the fears and things, when they come to our mind, they stick. And so you have to battle within yourself with the positive things and the negative things and the planning and the regrets and the memories and everything. So having clarity of mind allows your mind to be more fluid. And so when the negative ideas and the what ifs and the regrets and the memories, when they come, you can recognize them more easily and you can get them out of the way. So one thing that I used to do was I used to write, and I still write. Like, I got this little journal here, and I think it might have been $2 from some store or whatever, and I write. And I write with intention. I write what I'm happy and grateful for things in the future as if they were now. Like, I'm so happy and grateful that I am walking in perfect divine health. I have more elaborate things like, you know, the house and the cars and travels and, you know, dollar amounts. But when it comes to gaining clarity of mind, you have to start with the very simple things, the things that we tend to take for granted. I talk to God in the morning, well, all day, but especially in the morning. And I say my thank yous like that. But it's also good for me or for us to write things down and put it in a pattern. So I do it like this. You don't, see everything, but because as you write things out, you will say them and you will get to thinking about them. And it gives you such a peace that you begin to recognize the little things that you tend to overlook. And it's all about, when you get clarity of mind, it allows you to think about the things that are good in your life. We rush and we hustle and we bustle and we listen and we read and we have all this social media influence in our lives and whatnot, that we tend to overlook the simple things that we need to be grateful for. And so writing out and writing consistently allows us to be grateful. And it's kind of like, this is just my opinion, when we tell God that we are thankful for the little things, not just the big things. Of course, we're going to thank God for the big things, but the little things that we tend to look over and we take for granted, I think it makes him smile and wants to bless us more in bigger ways, things that we couldn't even wrap our mind around, because the word says that he will do exceedingly abundantly above all we could ask or think, right? So if we're thanking God for these little things and we're not even really pressed about the big things, he's going to give it to us because we don't even ask for it. Like if you have kids and your kid come up to you and thanks you for something small. Thank you for cooking dinner. I appreciate it. Thank you for cooking my favorite. And because you cooked my favorite and you worked all hard today, I'm going to do the dishes. Or if they're not big enough to do the dishes, I'm going to sweep the floor, Mommy. You know, it makes you appreciative of them appreciating you. So it makes you want to go and do it again, right? And if you have trouble, I had to realize this, like when I lost everything, like literally all I had was my car and 2 suitcases, and I was living with my mama. I lost everything, and I had to take evaluation of how I could be, should be, and would be grateful. At first, it was a pity party. You know, I ain't got this. I lost everything I had, and he got my stuff, and now I got to do this, that, and the other, and I can't stand him, and, you know, all spewing out all this negativity. And then God allowed me to realize that you were in a foreign country, basically by yourself, because your husband was going to work, and you had nobody to talk to for years. Now, and you couldn't even watch regular TV. You couldn't, you know, get in the car and jump and go to the mall because you didn't know your way around. And the car that you were driving wasn't dependable. Now you're back in the States. You have regular TV. You have a safe place to stay. You have people who care about you. You might not have the money to go and do whatever, but you have enough change in your pocket to do this, and this. You know, I had to have clarity in where I was in that moment. And another thing, when you have clarity, God will help you to remember the things that you said to create your life as it is. When I was over there, I kept saying, I do not want to go and live with my mom. I'm going to leave this food, but dang gone. I do not want to go live with my mama. I just don't want to do it because I hadn't worked in a couple of years and all my money, you know, I have no money. And if I left prematurely, the only alternative I had was to go and live with my mama. And this was in 2007 when all of the jobs were closing down. And I said it on a regular basis because I had to make a decision if I was going to stay or if I was going to go. And I said it every day for months. I said, I do not want to go live with my mama. And the economy is bad. I know I'm not going to be able to find a job. So I kept saying, I don't want to go live with my mama. And I know I'm not going to be able to find a job. I said it every day for months. Some days it was all day. And I was saying it in tears. I was saying it in anger. I was saying it and just banging my hand on the table and shaking my fist at God. You did this. You know, it's a whole wait for the book. And when I finally came back and was living with my mom, I was there by myself. God brought back to my remembrance. He was like, I don't like to say God said, but sometimes, you know, he was like, but you said it every day. I was like, but I didn't want to come back here. He said, but you kept saying what you didn't want. You kept making declarations about what you didn't want. So now you're here like you didn't want to be. Now you have no job like you didn't want to, like you foresaw because of the economy. So I put limitations on God and put myself in a situation. Then the light bulb went off. Ma'am, if you could say what you didn't want and got it, you can say what you do want and we'll get it. I didn't start out by saying, okay, I want my own place. I want a better car. I want this, and this, and that. I didn't do all of that. I started with clarity of mind, and I started with the things that I knew I needed to be a better person and to get myself out of that situation. So your homework is to get a journal. This, like I said, this was only $2, or you can just get a sheet of paper, or you can get, like a regular notebook, and start writing what it is that you want, and put it in the form of, I am so happy and grateful now. Like, I am so happy and grateful now that I have perfect divine health. And just write it. Fill the page. Next day, do the same thing. Fill the page. And you can add things to it, so you can have a page full of different things. And I've been doing that for years, and my hope is to one day kind of sit down and put all of my things together and create a journal book. I've started a journal writing course, but time just, I don't know. Time just won't allow me to do it like I want to. But anyways, that's y'all's homework. You don't have to turn it in. I'll go ahead and give you a gold star for doing it. But if you have any questions or anything like that, be sure and you can DM me, or you can go to my website, BeverlyBozeman.com, and you can leave me a message there. I'll be sure and get back to you as soon as I can. All right, so that's about it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to release your genius, pull off the impossible every day. Remember, you will have whatever it is that you say, so be positive when you speak, Queen.